I just want to give a big shout out to my sponsors, Discraft and Riverside Pro Shop. And if you have not seen the discs that Discraft have been making this year, man, you got to get over to discraft.com and take a look. Hey everyone, Chris the Cheatin' Lefty here, and by now you have probably seen both pictures and videos of the new Paul McBeth Test Flight Fairway driver from Discraft. Well, we don't know a whole lot about the disc yet. We don't have a name and we don't have flight numbers. But what we do know is that people have been comparing it to other discs. So I figured for this video, that's what we're gonna do. It's been compared to a beat-in Predator, so I'm gonna throw it against my Big Z Predator from my Predator review. I am also gonna pit it against both a Z Vulture and then also an Austin Turner Glow Swirl ESP Vulture, which I think is a lot higher on the stability meter than, say, the Z Vultures. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how does the Paul McBeth Test Flight Fairway driver match up. So for my first impressions, I think that this disc is going to be about a speed 9 to a speed 10 fairway driver. Also, it's not too shallow, but it's also not too deep, making it very comfortable. It has a rounded edge to it, but a very flat top, which makes it both comfortable for forehand and then also backhand. I can really wrap my fingers around the rim. Now, kind of showing a little side-by-side with the Vulture and the Predator, and you can definitely see the similarities, particularly with the Vulture. So let's go ahead and compare the Test Flight to the Z Vulture, the Austin Turner Vulture, and the Predator. For these early shots, I am throwing them as flat as I can, a little bit on an ante on the AT Vulture, so it probably got a little bit more flex than it normally would, versus the Z Vulture, you really could see how much flex it got when thrown flat. As for the Test Flight, it almost didn't want to move to the left at all. Sorry for all your right-handed players, that would mean it wouldn't drift right. It would hold dead straight and hyzer out when thrown flat. So for those of us who have very noodle-ish arms, that tells me this is going to be a really nice, stable fairway driver. Something that we can throw hard, just flat, maybe even on a really slight hyzer, and have a very predictable fade. While throwing the Test Flight, I have to say that it was very closely resembling the Austin Turner Vulture in terms of its flight path. Now, people have told me the Austin Turner Vultures tend to be on the more stable side or more overstable side for Vultures, and I have to say this kind of fits in almost one small smidge higher than that. So I think that at least out of the box, this is just a little bit more overstable than the Austin Turner Vultures. You can see on these kind of big Anheuser shots where I'm trying to force the disc over that it'll follow the same flight path, but it kind of checks up and dumps out a little bit sooner than the Austin Turner will. Versus, you can see, versus the Z is far less stable and just seems to glide forever. The Predator is just way too beefy. I mean, maybe if you had a really beat-in Predator, maybe then the Test Flight will be close to that. But I would definitely say that if you are a big fan of the Austin Turner Vultures, then you're really going to like this disc. Since the Test Flight disc has that added stability to it, I really like it a lot more for forehands than I do the Vultures. I think it really holds the torque, or the wrist roll, I guess you can say, that I put on discs when I do throw them forehand. So I can really get nice flex shots as well as really nice big sky hyzers out of the Test Flight disc. It'll be interesting to see how the first runs and then the future stock runs compare to the Test Flight. If they're anything similar, I'm definitely going to like it. Backhand, as I say, I do throw the Austin Turner Vulture right now, and this is very close to it. I do like it actually a little bit more for forehands. I was getting a little bit more distance on flex forehands and just hyzer forehands than the Vulture. I'd say probably a good 5-10 feet more. So I'm really excited to see what the stock runs, what the first run is going to do. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to do a full review video this time, but once we know more, I'll be able to get that out to you. As always, guys, please hit that subscribe, please hit that like, please share. It's something you can do for free that supports the channel. Thank you again, everyone, and as always, get out there and chase chains.